time, I'm going to bring the August 8th, 2023 Greater Clark County School Board of Trustee meeting to order. Ms. Markowski, if you know Mr. Jones is not here, if you would please stand with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item would be the approval of the agenda, and Lord, I move that we approve the agenda as presented. Could I please have a second? Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. The next would be the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Lord, I would move that we would approve these minutes. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Mr. Ball, thank you. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. The next item would be public comments. I do believe we have a public comment. If you would please come to the podium and say your name and your address, and love to hear what you have to say.
Thank you.
Okay, you'll have 3 minutes.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Andre Hill. I'm a resident of Charlestown. I have 2 children. One is middle school age and one is in elementary. And here to discuss a thought to the school board concerning middle school soccer, both Jeffersonville and Charlestown. I appreciate you letting me speak this evening. As you should well know, that soccer is becoming a highly fast populated sport. And whether it's on TV commercials or whatever the case may be, it is growing by leaps and bounds. Club sports such as CCSA, SIU, just to name a few, and many others that are in the Kentucky, Indiana area. They have doubled to triple in the registration in kids playing. However, something that has been brought to my attention previously before my child got to middle school was that the middle school's soccer teams are not represented through the school corporation. So really, all in all, you have all these different club balls, and when he gets to middle school, a child may not be able to participate in middle school sports. Then by the time high school, they may be at another club, and we lose the opportunity, Jeff, Charlestown, whatever school it may be, lose the opportunity to help a child progress in something that they have a passion for and a love doing, just as it would be basketball, football, baseball, whatever sport. So I'm asking that the school board look into just recognizing and making it not a club ball, because as a parent we have to spend additional funding for insurance purposes, for paying for referees, having our fields striped, and just other things, cost of uniforms, and it's a burden upon people to pay for school, to pay for book fees, things like that. I know that was really bullish this year, but school supplies, things like that. And now we have to pay for our kids to play a sport that they have a passion to do. Maybe they're not good at football, baseball, whatever. Soccer's their passion. So I think that it would be a helpful thing to the school board to recognize middle school soccer as a school sport. As everyone may know, if a school, whether it's a school thing, a club thing, a university thing, if you have a winning team, people want to come to your school. And then in return, as a board, you realize that you can draw more people in, more income, more families, more success, better success rate. So all we are requesting, and I spoke with both coaches of Jeffersonville as well as Charlestown, that they know the situation, they understand the situation as well as a parent. So we're just asking that the school board look into recognizing Greater Clark County School, middle schools, to be a sanctioned sport. Soccer. I know Jeffersonville has a couple of teams, Charlestown, and we had, I believe, 40 kids try it last year, just for middle school. This year we had over 30. So it is becoming more and more popular,
Right.
even in your more rural
Right.
schools. So we're asking that y'all, look into this and maybe starting, since it's the beginning of the school year, letting 23, 24, be recognized.
Sure.
And also take the burden of insurance.
Right.
As it's Cheryl's property, if
Sure.
something was to happen, unfortunately, we have to pay for it. We're succumb to anything.
I understand.
So let the school board take that
Yep,
responsibility.
well, all righty. Hey, thank you so much for,
Thank you.
I appreciate your comments, and they're well heard here. So, thank you for
Thank
showing
you all
up.
very much.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you. And I will, if I'm
Sure.
allowed to then step in, this is a discussion that we have had in cabinet and also as part of talking about extra duty positions with the association. But it's a discussion we've had in cabinet in terms of bringing not only soccer under the umbrella of Greater Clark for middle schools, but also baseball. Because currently baseball is not considered, it's considered a club sport at the middle school level too. So this is something we're discussing, working through, and we'll continue to discuss it and see how we can do this. Because we agree that we need to probably find a way to do that. It's just, working through contract negotiations, and collective bargaining, and with that group behind you, and some other things, it's taking a little time that we still work through.
And, we're not asking for
Yeah.
everything, we're just asking for a small bit.
Yeah, and the other thing we're talking about also within our 5-year facility plan that'll come up on September 26th when we do the work session is we know that especially Charlestown Middle School and River Valley Middle School's athletic complexes both need to be refurbished, renovated, in terms of the track and get some irrigation out there and scoreboard and fence and all that. So that's something that's on our radar too, that needs to be addressed by the district.
Again, thank you all for your time and appreciate it.
Yes.
All righty. So we have that next, Perfections Group PSSR update. Earth to Perfections Group. Come in, please. Thought we lost you there. Chris, I was hoping your sleep study didn't start already. I'm sorry.
I don't believe in an introduction, but I think you all know me, I'm Tony Acro. I'm oftentimes referred to as Dad, and this is my son Andrew, and of course you know Chris. Before I kick this off, I just want to make 4 points. If we go back to 2.5 years ago, and we're excited to be into the 3rd year now of our agreement. We talked about comfort, consistency, communication, and continuous improvement. That's when we started this thing 3 years ago. Those were the 4 things that I said, if I can stand up here 2 years later and say that we're still working on those, then we got a good spot. And we are still working on those. But I do think I can report that this start of the school year might have been our best yet. And we're very pleased with that because we have the cooperation of just about everybody in the trenches that are doing to get that done. Total collaboration and communication between all the vendors and your staff. It's wonderful. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And it's wonderful. Thank you. One thing I do want to hit on is that if you look at perfection, I mentioned to you many times we have 4 or 5 what we call silos. And you are the one customer, or the largest customer that we have that uses all our silos. You use our service. You use our green buildings to make your buildings green and sustainable. You use our design build to help you with your new construction. And you use our facility services every day. That is significant And I have to report to our board every quarter the progress that we are making in your level of satisfaction with us. And I just had that board meeting last Friday. And our board would like at some point in time that to be present for one of the meetings just to see you and meet you all. And there's 6 of us. So at some point in time, we're going to bring that out. But I do want to make one comment about that. Our investment in your future and our future is in people. And we're dedicated to providing you the resources we need to continuously improve. And you're going to see that as these construction projects get moving on. We are going to invest to make sure that we make all the requirements to get that done. And I do have an announcement to make. Chris is still actively involved in this, and we couldn't do this without him. He has been a godsend for us and a resource that I don't know where we could ever duplicate the efforts that he gives us day in, day out. So I want to thank you in front of this group tonight for all you do. And with that, as I mentioned, those 4 business silos that I talked about, we've decided to elevate those to the business unit with 4 collaborative leaders across the board. So those 4 silos, that design build, that green, that service, and CFS, we have recently named presidents of all those divisions. And it's not going to be any you because he's taking on the role of president of the green division, and his twin brother Nick will be the president of facility services. So they will continue to be day-to-day in your business. And we're pleased to have that. That's our commitment to you. And with that, I'm turning it over to him because he knows more about what we're talking about tonight than I do.
Okay. So yeah, what we're going to go over, I'm going to keep this pretty brief and quick. It's mostly pictures anyhow. But the ESSER project that was approved and taken on by the school board back in July 27th of 2021. Second page, sorry, I forgot what page I was on this, so I apologize. I'll try to follow along. But so back in 2021, the school board approved a major renovation to mechanical systems at several schools. That contract amount was around $8 million. That was ESSER 3 funds. If you see on the bottom there, what that project revolved around was 3 major renovations at 3 elementary schools. New Washington Elementary, North Haven Elementary, and Utica. We also did a little bit of minor work at Parkview, Parkwood, River Valley, and we'll get into that. But really, what the purpose and benefit of this project was to improve the ventilation and the old systems in these schools. And you'll see from the pictures, you're making quite the impact. This money was federal money. It spun around from COVID-19, and everyone all of a sudden worried about ventilation in the classrooms and the air quality that the kids were breathing. So with this project, there were several key benefits here, and I'm on the bottom of page 3. One, you were going to modernize your systems. They were old. Several of these systems were back from the 60s and 70s. 2, you were going to improve the ventilation for the students and staff. You improved the air quality, comfort, fresh air in the buildings. Some of the buildings did not have the proper outdoor air coming into the classrooms, which obviously affects CO2 and the learning environment. We improved how we're going to control the buildings now. Obviously, the focus of this was for energy efficiency. That was a priority as well. If we're going to update these facilities, how can we do it in the most efficient way to be sustainable, but also save you money in the long run? And honestly, all of those revolve around the optimal learning environment for the kids. So, major benefits for this project. If you flip to the following page there, I'm not going to go over this in detail, and I apologize, it's very small, but you have it in front of you. Those 3 schools, 3 elementary schools, had the biggest impacts. Pretty much a complete renovation of all the mechanical systems in those buildings, from the classroom units to the units that serve the gyms and cafeterias, and then how we control those systems moving forward. We also did some work, like I said, at Parkwood, Parkview, and River Valley. We, as you can see from the percent completion, we're pretty much done. Our goal is to be done with this project at the end of September. ESSER requirements 2024. Kim has been a huge help. We've been working through all the documentation. There's a lot of information that we have to provide to the federal government for this. So we're on track, but we're going to be pretty much complete by the end of September. Substantially complete of this year. With that, I'm just going to go through a few pictures fairly quickly. Starting with New Washington Elementary. Again, major renovation. You can see here what's on the screen. all new piping in front of the building, all new air handlers, all new equipment for the gym. I'm gonna go fairly quick, so I apologize. You can see there, new rooftop unit packages for the gym, new duct stock was put in. The building used to be conditioned by what we consider DX cooling. Now we run chill water to the building. It's more efficient, better control for the students and staff. There we go. I don't know, it's you. New units going in the admin area of the building. And then here's the before and after. Here's the before picture of what the gym was. There was no, the conditioning was not obviously there. There was minor conditioning currently, but then the new packaging is to give them a better quality of area of the space. New rooftop unit, high efficiency rooftop unit. That was the old condensing unit. We now have chill water piped to the building for each classroom. And then that was an old air handler. Now we have ductwork going through space to the gym. Going over to North Haven, these are the old rooftop units. More old rooftop units. Someone damaged that coil there from 2010. There's us bringing the new air handlers on the roof, which you'll see here. Again, this building is going to chill water, a chill water system. New vertical mount unit vents, and these are what really is going everywhere in the district. Better conditioning, it gets the air to the students versus they used to sit on the wall. I'll show you a picture of what UPs look like. And we had to demo pretty much last summer the entire ceiling grid throughout every room and hallway to get the hard pipe ran. It was a messy job, and we honestly appreciate your patience because it was a heck of a job. And then lastly, we'll hit on some pictures of Utica. There's some old rooftop units, old gym units. And here's what I was talking about in the classrooms. The old units sat on the wall right here. We took those out and put in what we would consider a vertical mount unit in. There's how they were. There's the old chiller, new chiller. This is up in the penthouse, new air handler. And then lastly, here's what the classroom looks like today. So this unit used to only blow and circulate to the few kids sitting by the unit. And this is the new unit here. It's a vertical mount unit, blends in well. And then new cabinetry to cover up the outside air. Turned out really nice. There's a new gym units. And that's it. It's been a lot of work. Like I said, we appreciate your patience because it's been a messy construction site, having to renovate during the school year. Our guys are currently working night shifts, so they're working the evenings now to wrap up, finish insulation and miscellaneous work. But we appreciate your patience. It's been a messy job site, but we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Quick question for you. When you talked about the replacement of the old with the new and energy efficiency and just all that, you know, what potential savings are we getting, energy savings, by this investment of $8 million?
That's a great question, and I don't have exact numbers today, but the schools, some of the schools, like Utica, for instance, was Energy Star a long time ago. And then it did not qualify for Energy Star, which would be the top 25% performing schools in the country. We are now going to get back on Energy Star because it will be at that 90% mark upon completion. And then we're also capturing utility rebates at several schools. So like New Washington, because of that system renovation, was around $36,000 of rebates from the utility company because of the efficiency improvements. But schools are going to be, they were averaging around that 50 to 60% mark. Now they're going to be up in the 80, 90 and qualify for Energy Star.
Efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency rating. So much greater efficiency, much better comfort, much better ventilation. We're getting the proper outdoor air in the buildings now, into the classroom, which is going to impact that learning environment.
As far as the controllers and that open source,
Right.
are we totally there yet in terms of
You are
across the district and?
You made leaps and bounds on the controls and how you operate these systems. Previously, you had a proprietary system that would limit the ability for other contractors to come in and utilize it and work it and help you navigate the issues. Your new system that you're going to all schools is open protocol, very user-friendly. Anybody can work on it. There's thermostats in every room now. It's going to be much greater control, and the staff will have the ability to control it to what their comfort level is now.
Within limits.
Within limits. Within limits. But no, it's better comfort all around.
Okay, good.
In terms of these buildings, while I know these are far more efficient, how does the facility itself, how far behind is it in terms of catching up with our value-ish type, you know what I'm saying? I mean, are we still losing a lot of energy even though these are more efficient? Does that make sense?
So you made that's not in here, another huge investment in that across the district. So take Utica, for instance. It's going to fund up after this final work's done on the exterior of the building, but
The wrapping piece?
the RF, the roofing, all the stuff you've done, new translucent walls. I mean, there's a lot of work been done outside of the ESSER project. So as we tighten the building up completely and then introduce the proper conditioning,
Right.
it's going to be much more efficient.
Okay, so I just, it's great to have, more efficient here for kids, but we need to keep the building.
Exactly. And honestly, the buildings are in great shape. All of them you've invested in. Obviously, the plan with the new schools, you're getting rid of some of the ones that may not be
Right.
worth investing in. So what you got now, I think you'll see from the facility study in the future, you've made leaps and bounds from where you were several years ago.
5 years ago, I'd have laughed at you if you said that the facilities are in great shape.
So would the architects that looked at them, I'm sure.
And you're watching it on the consistency though in the equipment that they're getting in the newer renovations as well. It's all going to be a consistent model.
Yeah,
Right.
so you are doing that. So even the new schools and new additions, even the new addition to Utica, we size the chiller that's out there to service the new units, which are the tension deck units, the vertical mount units. We're getting away from the floor mount. That's old technology. But new schools, Charles Elementary, Pike Elementary, are the same type of design system. It's the best.
Great. That's awesome. Thank you
You're
very much.
very welcome. Any more questions?
No?
No.
Chris?
Anything to add? No?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck with your study there, sir. Thank you, sir. Next item would be the consent agenda. Board, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'm going to do a question.
Thank you, Ms. Hudson. Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Do we have any questions or comments regarding that? And we had some last minute personnel stuff. Is everybody good with that? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining. All right. Next would be gifts to building. I think, Katie, would be appropriate for you to do this. Turn that frown upside down.
It was a rough day. I thought you were going to say it's because I'm a gift.
Well, we knew that.
He was getting ready to follow up.
Yeah, you cut me off.
You were just nice to me. Okay, so we had so many, I had to zoom in. That's how we did it. Lots for Charlestown High School, donations for the coffee shop to be run by the special education, I'm assuming department or students. That's super exciting, awesome money's there. Charlestown Middle School, cheerleading sponsorships, and some money for 6th grade t-shirt. Good to see our new Charlestown Coffee and Cream sponsoring there. They're getting cheerleaders getting ready for their football season. And some Franklin Square. And then you see those Kroger monies and for lunch in Riverside. So if you haven't signed up for Kroger, please do that. I move that we accept these gifts in the amount of $8,364 and
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining. Okey-doke. Moving right along. Action items. Bob Hill Consulting Agreement. Dr. Hartledge, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you. This is very short, but
Thank you.
Bob Hill, some of you may recognize his name, is a retired Courier Journal columnist. He is going to conduct essay writing presentations for our high ability students in the intermediate grades. His honorarium will be $1,250
Okay, board, do I have a motion for the approval of the Bob Hill Consulting Agreement?
Motion to approve the Bob Hill consulting agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Paul. Any questions for Dr. Hartledge?
This is exciting.
It is exciting.
It
Yeah.
is
Awesome.
exciting. He's,
Bob Hill was one of my favorite journalists with the old career, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting for the kids.
It's a wonderful resource for the kids to have and really be relevant to them. These workshops will start in August and carry on throughout the year, so I think he'll be well respected and be able to give them a lot of positive feedback on their work and support to increase their.
He's written books too, hasn't he?
Mhm.
Books as well as the current journal. And he's a great storyteller. You'll have those kids listen.
Not to keep it going too long, but what's the history behind him? Did we go reach out to him, or did he reach out to us?
Susan Stewart, in fact, she was just recognized for an arts award through the state. And so she constantly is looking for experts to reach out and be a resource to the students. And so I think she heard about his availability and the opportunity to do this, and she reached out to him and
Awesome. Very
got it in
well.
place.
All right. All right, well, thank you. Board, all those in favor of the approval of the Bob Hill Consulting Agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed or abstaining? Okay, moving right along. Bids for kitchen equipment. Here we go. How are you this evening?
Doing great.
Good.
Good to see everyone this evening. Not much of a presentation, but I would love to have this crowd at least for that. That's in a few weeks, so we're very excited about that. Tonight, we how we've talked about food service and the obligation of, you get in trouble for having too much money, good Lord, But I'm willing to take that because we have those 5-year plans. We have plans going in and we're required to expand our cafeterias. And so because we have done such work on North Haven, we've added a second serving line, and we need to equip that as well as change out some equipment there because that school is like brand new, and we want to make sure that we handle that school building. So we did go out for bid. You'll notice that 2 bidders responded, and they were within $500 of each other. There was a differential. We went with a higher bid. The lowest bid does not always mean the best price. Okay. In the bid, what we did recognize is that the one that we're selecting will have a local project manager with the installation of those pieces of equipment, so they will be managing that whole process. Whereas the other did not make that offer. The price that we selected, the company that we selected, is all inclusive. The other reserve the right to add costs if necessary. So that company did not come out and evaluate electrical and things like that, so that kind of poses some concern on behalf of my food service and my facilities team. And since we're continuing to stay consistent with that, we made the selection to go with CMT as the most responsive. So I'm making that recommendation to the board to approve the bid for Greater Clark to engage with them to provide our food service equipment at North Haven.
Board, do I have a motion for the approval of the bid equipment with C&T?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Mustaine. Any questions or comments? Ms. Schuberger? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Okey doke. We'll move right along. Letters of engagement for legal services.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm coming in this evening with 2 firms that are well-known professionally amongst the K-12 community in the state of Indiana. Both firms have been utilized within Greater Clark over the years. Churchill and Antrim has represented Greater Clark in several student any concerns, questions, those kind of arrangements. Campus Lewis has worked with us with negotiations over the past several years. So the team has worked with these firms. The firms know each other very well. They also know that Greater Clark is well worthy of accept them, and they're anxious. They know what kind of movement we are making within the district and improvement, so they definitely want to, continue to represent us. And so I felt it was necessary that the board, at least recognize that we are using both these firms. The beauty of this is that both firms do engage with nearly all of the southern Indiana schools that surround us. So they're here frequently and are very familiar with the area and our culture and what progressive moves we are making within the district. In addition, in the event that one firm may not be available for something, the other can pick up and vice versa, because they are all inclusive within their services. So professionally, I have used these both of them throughout my career. Both are very highly regarded with the Indiana school business officials. They do a lot of teaching there on all matters, whether it's student, finance, any legislative changes. They also do a lot of presentation with school board association, superintendent association, principals association. So these are firms that are very familiar with every aspect that can happen in a school, whether it's property, whether it's any kind of lawsuit. So I have all the confidence in the world in these two teams. The district will mainly be using Andrew Vanna and Michelle Cooper. Andrew Vanna being the Church Hill Antrim, and Michelle Cooper will be with Louis Caps. Both will appear also as council representation on our insurance. So if anything qualifies for reporting to insurance, because we do have that kind of policy. So both can represent us in personnel matters and student matters, anything that we need. So majority of your higher end legal costs definitely do qualify for insurance. So we definitely make sure that we try to engage with them when we can on those issues. So I'm recommending to the board that you allow us to continue to engage in these services with Church Hill Antrim and Louis Campus.
Okay. Board, I move that we continue and approve the letter of engagement with legal services for Campus Lewis, Church Kittle, and Antrim. Could I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Are there any questions or comments regarding this? I know it's pretty deep. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstaining. Moving right along, thank
I
you.
appreciate that, and if I was able to say one thing, you had asked
Sure.
about the savings on efficiency. So tonight, their task was to talk about the ESSER project, because that whole plan is nearly complete. They are involved in every project that we're doing, that you know are obvious ones, the school buildings, that we're building, renovating. But in addition to that, in our body, if you remember, when we go through our bonding process, there are additional district-wide needs that we do. So other buildings that may not have gotten a total replacement yet, it is on a plan, so we're handling those. So such as controls, if there's a building that we're getting to, it is on a plan that we've already approved through all bonds that you've gotten to this point. In addition, in the future. So that 5-year rolling plan is constantly in place, and they also handle that with us. So I am already seeing a 20% reduction in those utility costs. We have hit in our water consumption on how we're actually efficiently using that as well. So for them to technically put the money to it also, there's also this thing where we probably weren't firing on all cylinders all the time in every spot, right? So that's kind of hard, so then we're not getting charged, right? If we're not firing, we're getting charged. You're still gonna see exactly where we should be at 90% efficiency. So when they said that we were about 56 to 68% efficient before jumping to 90, that would result in about a 20% increase in raw accuracy right out the gate. So that helps you with what they've done at this point.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I think we are at the comment or board comments. Ms. Hutchinson, do you have anything you'd like to add this evening?
I hope everybody had a great school year. Hope transportation went well. I know there's always hiccups, but I didn't get any angry phone calls. so that looks good. But yeah, happy new school year.
Awesome. Mr. Paul?
Only one, just something that has been weighing on me here lately is that as we're embarking on the new school year, anybody who knows me that I work in the mental health field and have been doing so about 20 years.
Always sent you next to Katie.
It's,
I'm sorry, I had to do that. That was so
because
appropriate.
I've been tenured in doing this as long as I have, I continue to see people continuing to need inpatient services that are adults that I helped as children, and now they're adults. And when I ask them what's going on, they don't even have their education finished. And what I'm here to say is that I know Mark and the school district does a great job in supporting mental health needs for our school kids. But for my parents out there, hold your kids accountable for their education. Don't let them quit just because they have an issue temporarily. Don't let them sabotage their future for the short-term need that they have. Hold them accountable, get them to finish their school.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Paul. Mrs. State, do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay, thank you. Ms. Free?
No comment there.
Ms. Burke?
Well, just kind of what Kate said, congratulations to all the teachers and administrators and everybody that's involved in the start of school, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, I'll leave somebody out, parents, caregivers, students. Again, I had only one call, and the famous Renee took care of that in 5 minutes, so I was really, yeah, while she was grocery shopping. I called her and said, I have an emergency here, can you help me? She was grocery shopping, but she did it. And I'd also like to congratulate and thank Human Resources. She's not here tonight, but at a time when every school district is struggling to fill their teacher positions, their administrative, their superintendent positions, I think we've done an excellent job. And we've had a few leave and come and leave, but you seem to be taking care of it and keeping up with it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I want to shout out to Samantha and our union peeps for showing up and being represented. That's awesome. Thank you for showing up. And just Mr. Walker, Mr. Markowski, and cabinet, this awesome start to the school year. I know there are hiccups, but they're not near the hiccups that we had before that lasted quite as long, through dinner. So anyway, thank you.
Yeah, we've had a great start to the school year, really, when you compare this year to other years past. The problems have been minimal, whether it's transportation or enrolling registered students or just the whole operation. So we're real happy about that. And I will tell you, right now, it looks like our enrollment's up, pretty substantially. So that's a good thing too. The count day isn't until October 2nd, the official state count day. So
It's in October this year.
They moved it back even more.
so we have a little while for that official count day. But from what we're seeing in Power School and attendance, it looks pretty good. Also, want to welcome Nate Coots, our new facility director. He officially started with Greater Clark yesterday. Was his first day, so he's hit the ground running, and we've already thrown about 10 construction meetings at him that he's ready to sit in on and lead. So we're glad to have Nate here. Then a couple other neat things that are coming up. Friday of this week, we have the groundbreaking for Pike Elementary at 10 a.m. That'll be another great day. Then also the tennis facility on August 22nd, we'll do the ribbon cutting. So we're excited about that. That facility looks fantastic out there. And then we'll have a work session August 22nd after the regular meeting where Laura's going to go over the budget, which also, by the way, looks pretty good. So we're happy about that.
I think we should give a shout out to our bus drivers. I saw Mark.
Oh, yeah.
They're I can hear what goes on at home morning and evening and stuff, and they just watch out for each other. And I can't hear the teachers and the parents and those people, but I have a bus radios. They watch out for each other and for those little kiddos. And we have
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you should sit up there with us, it's like listening to, you know, a NASCAR race where they have the spotters up here. And you hear all this chatter going on, it's for 2 hours of chatter.
Roundabout, watch out.
Daniel's been amazing in transportation and getting it, you know, and we've got enough drivers, and
Yeah.
they just how they watch out for each other and tell each other, so it's really awesome.
Yeah, it had to be 1,000 degrees in this bus and deals.
They were great, those little kids, they know those kids, they still know from last year whether they should be on there, around the wrong bus, whatever, and they go to the right place. no matter
Wow,
what, so.
yeah, that's awesome, and thank you for bringing that up. All right, if I might get a motion for adjournment,
I move to adjourn.
do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
So
Where have we gone? Yeah, okay, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained.